Welcome to the Gransberry Chronicles Weekly Pick'em 2021. It's your girl, the Gransberry, and I'm back for our last preseason game show. And tonight I'm joined by my faithful co-host. On my left is your boy, B. Pat. What up, B. Pat? Mr. Entanglement himself. And on my right, I got my boy, D. Jones in the house. What up, D. Jones?
What it is.
As y'all know, we are scheduled tonight to talk about a few things from who actually earned their starting position this past weekend for the preseason going into the regular season. And then the guys are going to kick off their NFC division predictions. I am going to abstain from participating, but it is what it is. And then, we're going to take off next week, just like everybody else, and get ready for the new season after Labor Day. I'm so excited. Can't wait. Update on the Gransberry Chronicles completion of her stadium tour in Buffalo. We have purchased our tickets. We are in that thing. That's right. The whole squad is going to be there. B. Pat, D. Jones, and myself. I will actually complete all 31 stadiums that were in existence at the time when I began. I'm going to take my silent clap because, now there are only 30 stadiums because we have 3 stadiums that each house 2 NFL teams now. We got the Giants and the Jets together, and we have the we have the Rams and the Chargers together, which eliminated another stadium. So, guys, let's go ahead and get started. As we talked about last week about whether there are really some QB competitions, I think starting with down in New Orleans with Jameis, I don't think he surprised me. I pretty much felt like he would do a pretty good job. I think the unfair assessment on Jameis is that, he's not a starting QB, which is so unfair. I think it's just the timing and the position of the situation. He did have a last kind of bad stain when he left Tampa Bay, matching his picks with his touchdowns. But I do think the surgery helped. I think he's re-energized and, he's still a champion in his own right. And everybody's spending a lot of time sharing clips of him enjoying practice and trying to make a mockery of him and his professionalism. But I think we have to be honest. That doesn't mean that he isn't taking the game serious. It just means that that's how he is able to enjoy it. And some of the clips I see, there's other players enjoying it as well. So I think the total assessment is probably Jameis will get the job. It hasn't been officially said, but I'm still leaning toward that. I feel like if it was Hill, that would have been an easier decision to start the preseason with predicting because he's already been there. As I said before, I think they know what they have in Hill. You can allude to what you have in Jameis, but we haven't seen him officially under center, like he said, in a while. So it was a good way for him to get back out there, and it was like he never left, And so I was happy for him to have a good outing. I was also happy for Denver to see Bridgewater officially become the starter. He's had a merry-go-round of an experience being a QB in this league, but hey, he's still at it. I mean, I feel like if Fitzpatrick can keep getting an opportunity to start somewhere just because he's great at learning playbooks, I think that other QBs who've had unfortunate injuries and bad timing should get that chance as well. So it's good to see him have a chance to revitalize his QB1 position in Denver. And so we also know that the rookie, the top pick, is actually the official starter for Jacksonville. I don't think anyone's that
worst kept secret.
Worst kept secret. Was it ever a secret? So I think we already knew what Minshew could do. So what were they really going to do anyway? So was anybody surprised, excited, or anything about any of those QB picks from this past weekend?
I wasn't. I think. I mean, you made good points about Jameis and Teddy. I really feel like both of those guys can start. Number one, Teddy didn't do anything wrong in Carolina. So for them to get rid of him, for whatever they wanted to do, he didn't do anything wrong there. He definitely came into Denver being their best quarterback. So that was kind of a no-brainer, like you said, with the rookie. I'm actually, if I'm surprised about any of them, it's the rookie, because you don't have to rush him out there. The team is really not ready. So why not just kind of take your time with him? But if he's clearly your best quarterback, then he's your best quarterback. You just got to go ahead and make that call. With Jameis issue has only been with interceptions, right? So being able to sit behind Drew Brees last year, and even Drew Brees, gave him some good advice. Don't always be Batman. Be Bruce Wayne sometime, and then be Batman when you have to. So I think that's a no-brainer, because that way Peyton doesn't really have to change his offense. He's already used to bringing Hill in situations. If you make him the starter, then you don't have those situations anymore, right? So now you make Jameis the starter. It's kind of the same thing that you've already had with Breeze. You have your starter, and then you have those spot situations that you can bring in Taysom Hill to kind of fill in there. So I wasn't really surprised. Kind of like you said, expected those, but glad to see Jameis and Teddy B get actual shots, even though they had to earn them.
With Jameis, I'm happy that he actually got that chance to actually show that he can actually perform under Sean Payton. That's what I really wanted to see him, is actually against under Sean Payton. Tampa, he got replaced by Brady. That's no slouch. I mean, so from that aspect of it, but I think he got an unfair shake that year in Tampa, because they really couldn't run the ball that last year. So, which I actually got all those interceptions, and he took, my favorite term, chances. And then Teddy B, like D Jones said, Carolina, he did nothing wrong, but Carolina was looking for the next young quarterback per se.
And who's their quarterback now?
Sam Darnold. He's going to get hurt again. So, and then
put that on him, man. Don't put that on him.
Right.
Please don't.
My bad. So then D Jones talked to us about both of y'all actually talked about Trevor Lawrence actually getting that spot. I'm more curious to see how Urban Meyer is going to, treat the pro system under Trevor Lawrence. It's not college anymore. So is he going to get the full chance like he did, like Peyton Manning and some of those, Troy Aikman got their chance the rookie year, or is just going to play back and forth with Trevor Lawrence? Oh, he's not ready. He's ready. He's not ready. But they also have to sell tickets in Jacksonville. That's the easy way to do that too, as well.
I'm still. I don't want to make this a Jacksonville discussion, because we really are talking about QB1s and the new positions. But the interesting thing is, like, the last few years we put quite a bit of light on Denver's inability to get them a consistent starting quarterback. And, for the longest, our team, the Texans, had a drought of we almost had just a top level journeyman under center that could give you enough wins, but never enough hope. Right. So, until we had Watson. But in Jacksonville, it's like people keep forgetting, like, it's a merry-go-round around there too. And so I wouldn't put it all just on Myers to show us. That's been the culture. I mean, the Minshew thing, the Bortles, the extensions, the then pushing them out. Like, they have some inconsistencies that they haven't figured out. When they commit, they decommit as well. Right. So I'm not really sold on if Myers does it, it's because of the college thing. They've already proved they do that anyway in Jacksonville. More than anything, it's to see if he can adapt and push through with Lawrence in some tough spots. Not just about sacking or just, making sure, like we talked about, the speed of the game. How's he seeing it? How's he seeing these defenses when, he was familiar with who his top, opponents were in college. Like, so yes, he had to play, but was it under the same pretenses? So that's what I'm more so looking forward to, and we get the first crack at it. We, as in, being Texans fans. So we'll see how that plays out. And speaking of that, the Gransberry will officially complete her stadium tour this fall in Buffalo, and we have secured our tickets to the game. And I say we because the entire crew is going to join me. Derek has actually been on the road with me consistently, at least one game since the 2013. It was the 2012 season, but the playoffs in 2013. So we've been rolling and driving on the road now for about a good 8 years. And I guess we're going to let B join in and see what it's like. B and I get an opportunity to attend local games. I try not to discuss it as much, and you guys didn't get to see it that much last season because it was COVID. We did attend one game, but Brandon has this uncanny ability to be late. And it's, and it's so consistent and annoying and friendly at the same time, but he manages to get there. It's just never,
Well, it's funny. It's funny you say that because this summer I actually went to New Orleans. So I flew for the first time to New Orleans, and I got there right when we were boarding. And my director, he was like, "Oh, you're late." I'm like, "Late? I'm boarding." I got there right at 10:10. Ticket said 10:10 to board. I got there on time. 10:10.
I don't want to derail this show about that, but let's be very clear. That worked with your crew in New Orleans. That will not work.
I will be on time.
That ain't gonna work in Buffalo.
I would definitely be on time.
Brandon,
I would definitely be on time.
Outside of your personal entanglement, I might make you stay at my house that night and ride with me to the airport because I don't trust you to be timely. And if you need to bring your entanglement with you, then y'all both come and she can leave when we head to the airport. But I'm not playing games with you at no gate.
Brandon does not have any entanglements. Let's make that clear. Number two,
hey, that's his ticket.
I got this.
What he doesn't understand is the FAA will close that door on you and leave you on the other side. See, you can play that with me.
Hold on. I literally just said I will be on time. I will be on Gransberry time or D Jones time. I will be there. Stop. Don't worry about all that. Relax.
Well, I wouldn't have to worry about it if you wouldn't just go.
In the words of D Jones's favorite quarterback outside of whoever the Texans has as quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Relax. Relax. Gransberry, relax.
You're gonna be relaxing right at that address.
Relax. Relax.
Because I'm not playing.
Relax.
If you early, you on time. If you on time, you late.
You late.
You super late, don't show up.
Okay, but I just said I got this. Relax.
We got you.
Relax. You don't trust me? I'm hurt.
That would take a whole nother show. So we're gonna keep on moving.
Relax.
And the guys are gonna talk about their NFC picks for division wins. And I say the guys because I'm always against this. It's something about, I just don't like it. I don't like it in preseason. I understand it's all opinions. It's all guessing, but it's not my thing. I prefer, when I know the final 52, like that's just me. 3, 2, 1, whatever. You know what I meant. Smart ass. Probably you know why I said that.
Relax.
I appreciate that correction. I mean, I don't know why we even talking about that because at the end of the day, I want to throw out an interesting fact. Do you realize over 800 men will be without a job at Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern?
That's crazy, right?
That is absolutely crazy. Over 800. And so it's going to be interesting to see what things, how things close up. One thing I want to know is, do you guys think that Sean will wait until week 1 to tell us his starter? Do you think he will name his starter after Tuesday? or do you think he is hoping to keep this mystery about it?
I think he tried to keep a mystery. I think he's gonna try as long as he can. It's gonna have to come out, but he'll try to hold as long as he can. They are playing the Packers week 1, which is an L for them. But yeah, he'll try to hold back so that they have to prepare for both of them. But it's all good. You know.
Is it?
I think he should, just for the sake of, like, it's Jameis Winston. We noticed. But man, people are going to lose their mind if he's Taysom Hill, because I mean he's Taysom Hill. So, but I don't know. It'd be a good question. I hope so. He do Tuesday. I mean, there's not too much the Packers are going to end up doing. Like, hey, we got a game plan for James. You already know you got a game plan for Hill when they do the little gadget stuff for him.
You got to be ready for the packages too. So yeah.
I want to give a quick shout out to Overtime Sports Management's lead agent Corey Williams and wish all of his players, a permanent spot on the 53 on their particular squads that they're trying to achieve by next Tuesday. And so, anybody else who is aspiring to have those dreams and needs a spot, because like I said, no matter what, 800 men will be without a team next week. And so let's kick off these predictions, since you guys are so adamant about them. I'm going to start with the NFC West. We had some quarterback swapping going on out that way. There's not much that's changed in Seattle except, Adam signed his big deal. And the Rams have always found their way into the trade news, picking up Sony earlier this week and then changing quarterbacks earlier this spring. And so I'm interested to see how you guys are going to pick for that division. I'm going to start with Coach Pat.
Since we're always talking about entanglements, I am entangled with the Rams and the Seahawks, because Seahawks always come up with, a great roster, and they fight really, really hard, especially within the division. Of course, you got the Cardinals in that division as well. And so the Rams also have Stafford. But I think them getting Sony this week actually put them over the hump against Seattle to win the division, and then the second place team we get the wild card.
Okay, fair. I might shock you on this one. I'm picking the Cardinals to win this division.
I figured you would.
I like the changes that they've made. I'm going to give the quarterback another year with Hop. Now you got AJ Green on the other side. Defense improved. Chandler Jones didn't play last year. He comes back, and you add JJ. I think they improve on both sides. The offense, of course, wasn't a problem last year. It was more their defense. Seattle's defense is still going to be a question. So I think out of respect, I feel the love for Seattle, and out of respect to Russell, because I'll never pick against Russell again. But yeah, I think Seattle's defense is going to be their issue. The Rams are still there, and I think it's going to be between the Rams and the Cardinals. But I'm going to give the Cardinals the edge. Best division in the NFC by far, though, from top to bottom. Because
I would agree with that.
Coming back.
I would agree with that, especially now since Goff has left the division. I did believe that the Rams defense was exceptional at keeping them in games, and we definitely know the coach he works magic if he has a running back. So when I saw the trade, it takes you back to their Super Bowl appearance year, or their most recent Super Bowl appearance year, and how that balance of a good run game. And so we know he can coach that. And we also know that Stafford is still a good QB and he needs it, of course.
Yeah.
So
my only question is Sony gonna stay healthy? So that's why I give Arizona.
that's
that's a good
always the question, because that would be my question in Arizona about JJ. Like, he has 1 year and he goes well, and then it's like, boom, there's injury. But because I like him, I don't really want to put injury. But it's you guys picking, not me. And so let's.
Well, that front is not just him too. I mean, you think about here in Houston last year, it was really just JJ. So
Right.
he got help. He got help there, so he doesn't have to be Superman JJ
So
all the time.
dominant.
Right.
So now we move over and we will talk about the NFC East. And so let's start with my boy D Jones.
So NFC least, I think it's going to kind of be their big addition was somebody that was already there, right? So Dak coming back to the Cowboys is going to make a huge impact. I'm not going to spend a lot on this division. Cowboys win the division with the actual winning record this year.
Well, that's an incentive. That's an incentive.
Remember last year, Washington won the division at 7-9. So
you're not
I think they actually won the division.
You're not expecting much from Hurts, to make a difference? Or is it more so because you don't really think they have enough pieces that even if Hurts is having a good season, it won't make enough of a difference?
My issue with Philly is definitely not Hurts. It's still, it's the coach.
Okay.
I'm not sure about him. I know nothing about that coach to even base anything off of it. Even his press conferences have been lackluster, and it's like I'm not sure how he got this job. Yeah, so still want to see their receiver situation
way
too.
Tebow got a tryout. It happens.
It happens.
Yeah, he got and it was over quick. So we'll see.
Do you think
that's my only issue with
as the coach?
Yeah, he'll finish the season.
Okay. B, you going with Dallas for the division, or are you taking another turn here?
I'm going with the Washington football team. This division. Their defense, that front line, it's stout. The front line. And then of course, Dallas's problem hasn't been offense when Dak is the quarterback. It's the defense. But I just think the fact that Revere has his identity. Yes, Fitzpatrick is the quarterback, but they still won games on that defense. And I'm going with the Washington football team. It's not like, D Jones with the Eagles saying I agree with him as far as Hurts goes. I don't think the coaching staff trusts him, which I think they should. But like I said, I'm still going with Washington football team for the division.
Well, we just spent quite a bit of time talking about what we expect to see from Jameis and how we think he's going to be the starter. But he's still in the division where he was booted from the previous team that actually won the Super Bowl, and that would be the Bucks. And we now know that for whatever reason, someone elected to make Sam the starter in Carolina. And I say that, and I know we're on predictions, but it's just very uncomfortable to me that, what was wrong in the Jets situation? Are we sure it's the QB? Are we sure it's the coach? And it just seems like there was a quick start over, right?
Right.
To his career. And I know it sometimes happens, but to me, this was even quicker than, like with the Bortles, right? Like Bortles was always like iffy looking. Sam had some great looks originally. So it's very, eerie to me for him to already be starting on a second team so quickly. But, I guess
you're saying the Jets giving up on him?
Correct.
Yeah, okay, I agree.
Correct. So not so much against the Panthers, but just more so like it just seemed a very quick give up. And even if you were bringing in a different coach, you want to parallel that with knowing this is our guy, let's make this work. Like, what can you do to make this work? Because if you see that, even when you think about, that you think about the Raiders, right? for whatever it's worth, it was, you're taking Carr. Can you make this work? Now, it doesn't mean it's going to work forever, but you're going to take that. And there hadn't been that much more greater success than what you're putting, on Sam, a young quarterback, that still got his legs, So, but I still need to get your predictions. So back to, the NFC South with Jameis under center, Tom Brady returning and most of his team intact from that Super Bowl run last year. What do you guys predict for them this year? I didn't even mention the Falcons because I feel like we already know it's not an option. So at this point, are you saying Saints with a chance, or is it back with Brady again?
I'm going with the Bucks. It's an easy choice for me. I mean, the Saints may lose 2 division games. Those are the 2 division games they may lose is against the Bucks. Like you said, Carolina and the Falcons don't have a chance. So
don't have a chance at the division, or don't have a chance at winning the division game, because Derek and I talk about that all the time.
That's a good thought. That's a good thought. I mean, the Bucks are the Bucks, and then the Falcons are trying to change their identity to be the run team. The old OC for the Titans is taking it over. He's trying to run the ball. They don't have that running back to run that type of style just yet. And then you have the Panthers. We don't know what they're doing, what they're trying to do. We're handed off to McCaffrey all the time. So, and they lost Samuel, who went to the Washington football team. So I'm just going, like I said, the Bucks are going to repeat win the division and make a decent run in the playoffs.
So I agree with you with the Bucks. I'm picking the Bucks to win this division. I think the Saints will be right there. Just because, like you just said, Gransberry, you know how we feel about division games. I don't care how bad you are, you get up for your division games. And this is a division that is typically one that changes every year with the division winner. Mm-hmm. Nobody wins the division twice in a row. Last year, the Saints won the division. Bucks won the Super Bowl. I think we flip it. I don't know about the Super Bowl part, but division, I think the Bucks is going to win the division here, but I think the Saints going to be right there. Respect to the Panthers. I think it's not going to just be handed off to Christian McCaffrey. I think Sam is going to show a little bit more there, but I think they are definitely third in this division.
Right. I probably should have started it with, is it the Saints or the Bucks? Was really the question. So, as opposed to who do you think will win the NFC South? And so, of course, I saved your favorite NFC division for last. So I'll save you for last to give your prediction on that. And so, of course, we're talking about the NFC North. Rodgers finally got it all worked out and showed up. And now that quarterback that I don't care for much is in Detroit. And so I pretty much have my same sentiments. I've said it several times about Detroit. You fly in, you fly out, and you just keep moving. Not on one of my highest list of sports travel cities. It has some great things there and some good people. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. And so I really think, golf fits in there because he fits in there. So maybe he has better time there because he'll fit in there. I think he'll fit in perfectly. But, in keeping the line with that, there's really not much to say about Minnesota, right? We just kind of have the consistent average team that just consistently average games. We don't know if the QB is going to shine one game or defense is going to shine another. They're just, they really are the epitome of just a football team. They are just a football team. They don't really suck, but they're not really great.
As Bill O'Brien said, 8-8.
Yeah, 8-8 is pretty much about it. So with all that being said, Coach Pat, who are you picking for the NFC North?
This one's an easy one. since the relaxed quarterback is in. This is going to be the Packers division to lose. Of course, the Minnesota games are going to be tough. Minnesota's defense is going to be up for it from here on there. Lions, Bears, they can't even decide what quarterback they want to start. Should be Fields. But
I think they can. I think they're trying to play coy. I think if you are a true NFL coach, you see exactly who should be the starter. It's kind of
but like D. Jones said last week, Nagy's trying to save his job. So naturally, a quarterback that's trying to save, a coach trying to save their job, they're not going to put a rookie out there. They'll try to veterans. I got to give them a chance to try to make the playoffs. Rah, this and that. But like I said, Aaron Rodgers is division to lose. Packers.
I think it's a 2-team race. It's between the Packers and the Vikings. Of course, I'm going to ride with the Packers on this. If Cooks can stay healthy, and I think Cooks scares me. Their downfall is what Gransberry already said, the inconsistency from their quarterback play. I think Green Bay will get better defensive play. Of course, the offense has never been an issue as long as 12 is under center. So this is definitely their division to lose, as you said, Coach. I think on the Bears situation, I agree with both of you when it comes to Fields. I think Fields is going to be starting by the second quarter of games. So
Deshaun Watson,
I think they start. Well, he's second half of the first game. I'm just saying the second set of 4 games.
Okay.
I think they start with Andy Dalton, but from what I saw in their preseason game last weekend, their offensive line is not ready. So if their offensive line is not ready, they're not going to be able to protect Dalton. So having a mobile quarterback is going to be a benefit for them. And since the coach is playing for his job, wins are the most important thing. So if he's not winning with Andy, I think it's going to be a short hook. It's going to be he yanking him and putting Fields in, because Fields can move and make plays that hides a bad offensive line a lot of times.
That's true.
So yeah, this is the Packers to lose. We don't even need to talk about Detroit.
And I'm totally okay with that. And I think we'll just have, I'll have you guys tape your AFC predictions and we'll play them next week. We won't necessarily have a live show with those. We'll just put them up. Not because, the AFC means anything less to us, but I just think that next week, we don't have too many changes going on from this weekend that we expect in the last week of preseason, with the shortened preseason. And so we're not really in doubt about who will get those last starting quarterback positions. So it's really just about those grunt guys getting those last spots on the 53. And then, the other 800 or so beginning something new or waiting till next year or for a phone call, because it's not necessarily over. It's just they're not on a roster, after 4 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. But we also want to take this time and invite you to join our pick'ems. We are wanting you to play along with us this year. And we have set up a pick'ems on Yahoo Sports. And it is under the same name as the show, the Gransberry Chronicles. So it should be very easy to find. And the password is GPick'em, no symbols 34. So GPick'em 34. And we will put that information up and we'll share that information. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have some surprise gifts to give out. We may do some guest invites. I'm still looking for a fan that wants to have a one-on-one discussion for about 15 minutes live on Instagram when the season starts for week 1. If you are interested, please hit me up. You can hit me up in my DMs. As long as you're not asking who I travel with, you are free to hit the DM. So with all of that in mind, we're going to have Coach Pat tell them where they can find you when you're not running to meet the plane.
Funny. You catch me on Twitter and Instagram and Coach B Pat. Hit me up.
Hit him up. Get him there on time. D. Jones.
You can find me on Instagram, djones9804, or on Twitter, that boy D Jones. Holla at me.
I try to keep my life simple. I'm always available, and that's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook as the Gransberry. And you now can follow me on TikTok at Grand Sports Travel, where I share my travels with you through videos, and on the Gransberry, of course, where I talk a little law. You know, I do have other loves, and you can share in them. But until then, and until the season actually starts, and we get ready and have us a good old time, because I'm ready to start putting B-Pat in last place. Ow! It's going to feel so good because you know he's a mess. We'll catch you next time.